And we are back for round 2, and it's freezing, so I'm gonna get it warming up in here. So today I want to focus on the drive shaft and the transmission. So here's our drive shaft. Pretty much normal wear and tear on that. I'm just gonna try to get that as cleaned up as I can and restored, and then our transmission is over here. Looks like that right now. Definitely is gonna need quite a bit of work. So we will get that thing pulled out and as cleaned up as we can. We're not gonna be able to install the rear axle yet until we get our leaf springs. We have to get those, they're on back order, and they have been on back order for about 3 months or so. So we pretty much have to wait for those to get in before we can start doing the rear suspension, but as soon as those are here, we'll get started on that. One thing I can do is the rear suspension shock absorbers. I have 2 of those that I need to get restored and painted, and those just basically mount on right there to those holes. So I might do that today. I might get these rear brake drums repainted to that silver color. That looks like that. And then I'm also gonna finish up these brakes on this driver's side. I got these all buttoned up and finished last video. I just forgot to do the other side. So we'll do that, try to do the transmission, the axle, and get those shock absorbers done today. So we just got these guys in the mail. These are all our brake hoses that we can replace those nasty ones with. So we got 4 of those for each wheel, and then a clutch hose as well. And this goes basically right into here. This is for the transmission. This goes right, mounts on the transmission. This is what makes the clutch actuate. We'll set these aside and then go ahead and start working on our drive shaft. So that's just it buffed up now. Just got all that surface rust off there. I'm gonna go ahead and take it out front and sandblast it and get all this crud out of here, out of the U-joints on both sides. It's a little bit nasty in there. So I'm gonna just use soda to just lightly spray that all out and get that all cleaned up. And then go ahead and probably paint it. So we got that drive shaft done. It's all greased up on both joints and ready to go. Just gonna let that dry. I was digging through the parts trying to find these brake lines that go from cylinder to cylinder on each wheel, and they were in the rear brake bag, and I realized that the rear brakes only have 1 cylinder, so I realized that these actually go to the front. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these shined up and restored, and then get them installed on both sides, and then finish up those brakes over there like I was saying. Alright, so I got these guys all shined up and restored, as you can see. Got the ends polished so they'll actually seat right and seal that brake fluid in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get those brakes finished up and get those mounted on there. right, so as you can see, we got that new brake line on there right there, and I'll fit it up, and then I shine this up a little bit because it had a little bit of rust on it. And then that goes down to right here, our first cylinder, and that's really nice and tight in there. 2 bolts hold each cylinder on, one bigger one and one smaller one. And then this basically goes through here. We'll fill that brake cylinder, expanding it, and then push its way through here to the other side, where there's basically the same thing. And then that is our bleed screw. So once we fill it for the first time with brake fluid, we'll undo that screw a little bit, let all the air pass through, and until it's leaking out of there, and then we'll tighten that up. And that's basically the gist of how you bleed the brakes. This is nice and smooth and even all the way around, so that looks good. I've got those all tightened on there good. So same thing on the other side. Everything's all buttoned up and tightened down. I went ahead and cleaned these guys. I went ahead and cleaned these up. So these are the old ones. I'm just gonna use them for now to put the wheels on and see how it looks. And then obviously I have brand new chrome ones over there. But we'll put those wheels on and see what they look like. So the wheels are looking pretty good. Just got both of them thrown on there. This one, the old one obviously, here's the new one. I just don't want to open it yet because it is nice shiny chrome. So we will do that kind of last minute. That looks pretty nice with those wheels on there. You can probably take that support out and just kind of rest it on its wheels for now. Obviously, still waiting on the damper pads right there so we can get the springs in there, get those in there, and then that'll be pretty much everything wrapped up on the front suspension, and then we can go ahead and move on to the back. I'm going to pull that transmission out and try to get started on that. So here's that transmission plate. The bearing sits right behind here. And then this is the new oil seal. It's gonna be pressed into there. Just like that. So that keeps oil in the transmission. We'll tap that in lightly and then just grease it up a little bit. I'm gonna have to make a gasket for pretty much all around here with some black RTV. And then this goes Obviously you saw it come off, but this just goes right under there the way it came off. I'm gonna go ahead and get this cleaned up as much as I can, especially around the gasket area. I'm gonna try to get that cleaned up as best as I can. And then we'll go ahead and install our oil seal and reinstall this. So I'm just using some acetone on this gasket surface just to clean all the old gasket material off, and just to get rid of any oil and dust and debris that's on the gasket surface already. So this will just help it seal a lot better. I'd say that's about good right there. So we got that cover on. You can see that gasket material kind of seeps out around the edge as you tighten it down, which is good. New oil seal in there, slid on just perfect, so I think we'll have a good seal there. And then right over here are all the old transmission parts. This is the cylinder that we have a new one of. Just bolts for that. This is part of the cylinder. This is the arm that goes into the cylinder. And then this is the clutch bearing. So this is basically what pushes against the clutch and slides with it while it's not activated. And then this is the clutch arm. So this basically sits in there just like that. And then the cylinder pushes that side and then pushes that up against the clutch. So I'm just gonna kind of restore these parts. I have a new one of these because it gets worn over time. I'm gonna clean this up, clean the hardware up. This is just the transmission drain bolt. And these are just the retaining springs for this guy. And then new one of these, new clutch hose. Don't need this gasket, so I'm just gonna get those cleaned up, everything we're reusing cleaned up, and then go from there. So here's our release bearing in the arm, and then these little clips just go right here. I'm gonna go ahead and call that a wrap. We got quite a bit of work done on the transmission and on a few of the parts for the transmission. We got the whole front end done pretty much, just not the springs and the buffers yet. Got the wheels on and stuff temporarily. I realized that I did put the hubs on the wrong side, on each side, so I have to switch those hubs and re-put those nuts on and stuff, which is kind of a pain in the butt. But I have to do it because basically this is a left-hand thread and that's a right-hand thread, but now they're switched. So as you drive, there's a chance that it could loosen itself, but they are designed so that they can't loosen themselves as you're driving forward with them switched. So I need to switch them. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate every one of you that is watching this. I got like 150-ish views on the first video within the first 12 hours, so that made me feel really good about it. I'm gonna keep chugging along, keep doing the best I can, and try to put out the best content I can. If you guys are gonna watch it, then I will keep making more and more. So I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Give this video a like if you liked it. Hit the subscribe button and the bell so that you can get notified for future videos. We will see you next time.